Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center Live, and what will hopefully be the only Howard the Duck watch-along ever happening anywhere in the universe. I'm already seeing some of the knuckleheads pop up in the back room. My Patreon co-host, and one of them has changed their name for the occasion. All right. Well, hey, welcome to Sci-Fi Center Live, a very rare Saturday afternoon edition. The good news is I have enough support on this channel and on our Patreon to even warrant something like this. So first off, thanks everybody who literally made this worth it, made this happen, has made the Patreon success, has made the YouTube channel a success within the time that we've had and been at it. So this is a thank you to them. And like I said, I am here to please my adoring public, even if they want bullshit like this. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Vince. He's going to help facilitate this today. So for those of you who are wanting to watch, the link to the watch along is actually pinned to the top of the chat. Spider-Man, one of my newest patrons. How you doing, man?
What's the word?
Apparently duck, but
I'm not on the duck bandwagon, but I'm still gonna support you. So I have the similar feelings as you. The only connection I have to Howard the Duck is my mom liked this movie coming out when I was a little kid, so she would turn on every once in a while. But there's no other connection.
There you go. That's a better connection than I have. That's for sure. One of the troublemakers that helped facilitate this, Brad Curran, my co-host.
What's up?
Entirely too happy for this moment to be occurring.
Oh, this is William just demolishing this. Just timeless classic is going to be a Saturday afternoon that will never be forgotten.
2 hours that I won't get back. What I can only believe is Larry Kotoritz has now changed his name and disgraced himself. And I thought I saw Chappie in here somewhere. He probably bumped in and run out. So, but for those Patreons, the link I posted the Patreon the actual StreamYard link is in the Patreon, so you guys can co-host if you want to. And I posted both. I posted the watch link in the chat. It's pinned to the top of the chat, and it's also in a message in the thing as well. So let me make sure that I'm getting everybody, because I'm getting some private chats. All right, so I don't see any reason to delay this mess any longer. Vince, are we ready?
Just rip off the Band-Aid, man.
Absolutely.
Chappie.
There will be no defending this movie.
Hey, guys.
I know you try to defend certain movies. Just don't even. It's not happening.
Hey, I'll let you do the show.
No, we are not. We are not defending the duck today.
Yeah, if we're ready, I'll go ahead and get it started.
Hey, guys, right, I'm only at the Universal logo. I'm going to pause right there, so tell me when to go.
Okay. All right. So Vince has got us up, and I don't have my headset on. So is that going to make a difference today, Vince?
It shouldn't.
So I have to? Okay, cool. All right, guys. Where do we want to cue it up for them at, Vince?
I'm just hitting it at 0.
Okay, everybody get at 0.
Okay.
Which is about as much value as this movie has.
Oh, we're going to hear tons of this today, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
There you go.
All right. On a count of 3, Vince.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
It's like going to the gallows.
Yes. Here's the logo.
Well, you shouldn't have to watch it in any other source since we had it on Twitch for you, so you don't have to queue up anything. But
think about how grandiose this Universal logo is for the movie we're about to watch.
Yeah.
Because that's not what the Universal logo was back in '86. Oh yeah, now we got the '80s one, but still, like, just the fact that we have the modern one shows up first. It's just it's such a act of polishing a turd.
There's people in the stream chat too that'll be harassing us. I see. All right.
You guys
This-
gotta
all
love
right,
this.
right here. This is awful. This is awful. The great George Lucas. Every other name after this, it means nothing. The great George Lucas. Are we buffering on your end, Vince, or is that just me?
You guys gotta love this soundtrack right here. This soundtrack sounds really good.
It sounds like a romantic porn movie.
Yeah, I'm watching on my Twitch dashboard and it says excellent connection, so I'm not sure.
So it's me.
Brad, are you some kind of expert on romantic porns versus
No,
non-romantic porn?
no. Man, no. I knew that was gonna be used against me.
Like I said, George Lucas is being the first name that you see is forever going to horrify all Star Wars fans.
So look at that poster, My Little Chickadee. They're just so.
Yeah, no, all these look brutal.
They put so much window dressing on this horrible movie.
I wonder how many of these people like don't even go by their real name.
They're all on pseudonyms.
No.
Thomas Dolby. She blinded me with science.
I'm at the Indiana Jones poster. This is too
mine's
much.
Buffering, but it's not like it's going to improve the movie. Hold on, I'm going to go ahead and get out of this, get out of that. Oh my goodness! And it gets worse with each second. That's the thing. Like it's not like it's like there are certain points of the movie where it's like, oh. Oh. My internet must know I don't want to watch this movie.
So you saw this in the theater, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. Was there a lot of people in the theater or no?
It was about
course
half
not.
full. It was a matinee though, so it's like, because my dad was, I've inherited this from him, but my dad was cheap, so he would go to the cheapest. If it was a movie he wanted to see, then we would see it on Friday or Saturday night and pay premium price. But if it was something that I had to go force him to see, then yeah, it was the matinee. And in hindsight, the matinee was to look at that. Executive producer George Lucas.
Yep.
I wonder if he petitioned to get his name.
Disgusting. Duck boobs, yuck.
Yes.
Steve Gerber. Poor Steve Gerber.
Yeah, I know he pretty much hated this movie after when he saw it, so yeah.
But go find Willard Huck. Go see if you can find him. And he's probably wearing a disguise. This right here, Play Duck. The movie should have ended right.
Wait.
This should have been it.
You gotta love those duck boobs right there.
Oh my God.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
It's getting worse. Thought he was jacking off at first when I first saw this movie.
Oh, here it comes.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry for everyone who had to see that. And imagine 12-year-old me having to see that.
Gotta love it though.
What?
You gotta love it though. It is
No,
pretty funny.
I don't. No. So bad.
I mean, I can say though, the effects actually look pretty good in this. They don't look too bad.
This was a big budget.
Yeah.
Trust me, the people had high hopes for this shit.
Oh.
I think the hilarity of this all is, like I said, everybody involved thought they were creating a legit movie.
That's a cool logo.
It's the logo from the comic.
Yeah.
Too bad they didn't copy a lot of other shit from the comic.
Well, I wondered though, like, do you think maybe the reason why they couldn't get Man-Thing is because they didn't have the rights to it?
They didn't have what?
They didn't have the rights to it. They couldn't get the rights to it. Maybe
No, they
that's
had
why
the rights. They had the rights.
Is it probably because there's 2 Swamp Thing movies in the 80s? I don't know if the second one came out by the time this came out, but there had
but
already been a Swamp Thing.
DC White, isn't that DC White?
Yeah, but in the 80s, think of how similar that sounds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Adrian
You're not
Barbeau's-
in the superhero market that we're in now.
Listen, you had between Swamp Thing and this, right? You had Adrian Barbeau's boobs or a duck's boobs. That was your choice.
I know you're not a DC animated fan, but Adrian Barbeau is Catwoman. That entire run.
How are these people not freaked out by this duck?
Horrible movie. Every question you have about this movie, just remember the answer is it's a horrible movie. Well, why is it so? It's a horrible movie.
There's Leah Thompson.
Hold on, I'm going to change my internet settings.
He's a pervert.
Look at that hair, dude.
Least intimidating bad guys ever.
Yeah.
The funny thing about it is there were places in LA where they had to perform with those gates up because people would get drunk and throw bottles at the performers. So that's actually a real bar. Here we go.
And there's Leah Thompson again. She did Back to the Future after this. No, not Back to the
she
Future.
redeemed
No,
herself.
it was Back to. I think she did Back to the Future, and she did Back to the Future after Back. I don't know.
Oh no, this is after Back to the Future. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I know.
This is
That's what I was
after.
telling. That's what I was saying. You know. Yeah.
So thank God she had a credible movie before she did this.
Well, she
okay.
also did that John Hughes movie after this, so it's not like her career got destroyed. So
She's the only one that survived this.
yeah,
And
her
George
Tim
Lucas.
Robbins. Tim Robbins would also go on to star in one of the. Oh.
Oh, by the way, whenever I first thought I would hear Quack Fu mentioned on the air, I thought it would be with much more dignity than I'm watching now.
You gotta love this wine delivery right here. This is classic Doug puns.
William, in 1986, what exactly were you expecting?
Much better than this.
I'm saying, man, like nothing, nothing was on point in '86, man, or in the '80s.
All right, listen, dude. The same year that Aliens by James Cameron
I'm,
was
I'm,
released,
I'm,
this came out.
I can see it. I mean, like as far as like the superhero type comic book movies go.
Well, we didn't have
I
that much
personally
superhero
was
comics back
expecting
then. We only
something.
had Superman 2 and 3.
Well,
So
no, we had Howard the Duck. It was just told.
Yeah, The
differently.
Punisher. You had 2 Swamp Thing movies in the '80s.
yeah,
You just got off of Shazam movies in the '70s, the Doctor Strange movie in the
Batman
'70s,
too.
We
Thor
don't count
movie in the
those. We don't,
'70s.
we
Batman.
don't count those. We don't count the 70s.
Why not? That's still the superhero genre had been ongoing the entire time. We just like to arbitrarily start it at like Spider-Man
No,
or something.
we can, and here's why. Because they spent $8. They spent $8 on basically what were made for TV movies. Nicholas
No,
Hammond,
right. You're right.
Spider-Man,
You're
Nicholas
right.
Hammond, Spider-Man. He did
Mhm.
it. He did the best he could, but he's hanging
Mhm.
on the strings. He ain't even
Mhm.
touching the walls because the budget
Mhm.
just didn't call for that.
Mhm.
So
So with that,
Remember
with
his
those
wrist
thoughts
size?
in mind, what exactly did you expect from Howard the Duck in 1986 at that point, William? That's
well,
what I
8
mean.
years later, a lot more.
Okay. Based on what? What gave you the hope? What gave you the hope?
I'm 12, but
Uh-huh.
remember, I just watched her in a much better movie.
Sure.
And like I said, it's not just 1986. It's the subsequent years have reminded me just what an awful fucking.
Oh, I agree with you.
It didn't age well as I was watching it.
Exactly. That's why I just didn't know where the expectations came from. But I agree with you on the badness of this movie. It's terrible.
And the fact that there's even a hint of a romance here is just so nasty.
yeah. See, the one plus I could say about this movie, if it does has a really good soundtrack right here.
No, that's it.
Like hear this beautiful song in the background.
It's 80s non-licensed elevator music. And by the way, this is a big budget for this movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So there's no. Oh Jesus! Now you're gonna.
Yeah, she feels bad now. Poor Howard.
And keep in mind, it opens up with him looking at a pornographic Play Duck magazine.
Mm-hmm.
So that sets the tone for what's about to happen.
Yep.
And he's got the patent in Miami Vice Don Johnson suit on.
Mm-hmm.
Who
You're a
does the
duck.
voice?
You're a duck. Well, you can't hang with water? What the hell? This movie's awful, dude.
Who does the voice of Howard?
I forgot. Some guy who's probably disappeared by now.
yeah.
Who's the performer?
You know what? While you
For
guys
him.
are watching this, I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna go to IMDb and look up all the careers that are like.
I think Tim Rose is either the voice or the
No, it's
Puppeteer.
some guy named Chip some stuff. I don't know.
Well, whatever name he used in this film, he's probably not using anymore.
Because the performer of Howard the Duck is Ed Gein, who did the performance of Chucky in the Chucky suit. So
Ed Gein is a serial killer. Are we?
no, oh yeah, no, no, okay, yeah, not Ed Gein. No. Who's
I was
the
about to say,
who's the guy who
Ed Gein
performed?
was in this movie. We need to
Alright,
rewatch it again.
Serial killer movie stars with Chappie.
All right, this movie had a $37 million budget. Now that doesn't sound like a lot today. That sounds like, but in 1986, this is a big. It literally made $1 million in profit. How the fuck did it do that? I don't know.
What was Darkman's budget by comparison, William?
Oh, hold on, let me look. Okay, Ed Gale. Ed Gale is the Howard the Duck suit performer.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about.
Jordan Prentice, another guy who played him in the suit. They needed two. Tim Rose, Steve Sleep, and Peter Baird as Howard the Duck puppeteers. Chuck Zien was the voice. Let's see what he's done. Still alive.
Good.
Let's see what he's done. All right, since 1986, he's done mostly theater, film, and television. All right. After Howard the Duck, he did Shell Game. Never heard of it. Hello Again, Newhart, 30-something, Law and Order. So basically, this guy was like a
Character actor on TV shows.
Yeah. liquor.
It's where she pulls out that condom.
What the fuck are you?
This Doug's all freaked out.
You invited this thing into your home, and now you're going to start asking the questions? We may not make it through this. We may not make it.
Oh dear God. Somehow she is now in love with this duck.
Why do you guys keep kink shaming the lady for her duck love, man? That's not cool.
Hey, I'm a
Because
cake
it's
sadie.
bestiality. It's called
It's-
bestiality,
it's-
Spider-Man.
Fascinating.
It's illegal in most states.
I mean,
Not
Yeah,
with
yeah,
interdimensional
yeah,
ducks
yeah.
from outer space. It's a little different. The rules a little more lax.
yeah, but look at like
No,
a shape
it's
of
not
water.
human.
A shape of water is about a woman falling in love with a fish creature, and
Exactly.
they
That
did
is
that
a
beautiful.
humanoid. That is a humanoid fish creature, though.
And this is a humanoid duck with that knows English. Like,
are we?
come
Are
on.
you seriously trying to make an equivalency with an awesome Del Toro movie to this madness that we're
Listen,
watching?
I'm just playing devil's advocate here, man. We
Yeah.
can't pick and choose our morals. We either go with the fish guy and the duck guy, or we don't go with the fish guy and don't go with the duck guy.
No, I'm going with the fish guy, and I'm skipping the duck guy.
All right.
Batman
Well, this
89
duck
was
is
like
too small,
45 million.
anyways. At least the fish guy was up.
Yeah,
her
you have a
height.
size issue too. We don't know what he. I don't even want to know what he has packing. I don't care. 45 million for Batman 89. Yeah, they backed up the truck. Yeah, comparatively in the 80s, this was a lot of money for this movie.
Doesn't seem that much nowadays.
Yeah, now it's nothing.
Yeah, because inflation
That's
has
an interesting-
has
In the
been
80s?
very different since that time.
Yeah, in the 80s, dude, this was like top dollar. Look at some of the other movies that were like real movies. That this music, I can't do this music.
Dude, this
This
is
is
good
pre-
music right here.
No, this is pre-porn music, and there's a duck on my screen. That's a problem.
Oh, here's a condom. Ugh.
Hopefully nothing. Ugh. Let's see.
Is she gonna bang
Holy
him?
shit! Oh, okay. We need to stop. We need to. This is a fact that's going to blow your mind.
What?
Aliens with an S.
Right. Cameron's
One of the
Aliens.
greatest science fiction movies of all time. Right.
Yeah.
Budget is 18.5 million. This atrocity that we are watching had twice the budget of one of the greatest science fiction movies ever made. Woo!
That's because he made Punisher, or I mean not Punisher, but he made Terminator on a cheap budget, right? That's what he was known for. Meanwhile, George Lucas is known for the Star Wars, right? So he's got the reputation behind him, right? So they're gonna throw the money at the reputation.
I'm back. Sorry, little internet hiccup, and I was backstage begging
No,
William to
that's
let me
all right.
back into this craziness.
Yeah, I thought you guys were escaping. I didn't know.
No, hell no. I'm not. I'm in this for
Hey, How
I'm all
long
the
is
way
this
to the end.
movie, Vince?
We're
Longer than it
in
needs
the
to be.
beginning still.
And you just
Yeah.
blew my mind too
Well,
with
she's
that
at the
whole
museum.
this
It's an hour
has
and
a budget
50.
of aliens. That's like
Hour
that's
and 50?
somebody
Yeah.
like some accountant got fired for that. Money's not
Oh,
on the
look.
screen.
Hey, I can tell you this right now. The good stuff about this, at least Tim Robbins' a way to go on to star in one of the greatest movies of all time, Shawshank Redemption. Yeah. So, at least
Yeah,
his
we-
career survived.
Just like,
Yeah, we won't
dude
talk
was
about
my car.
Jeffrey Jones' history.
Oh yeah,
Dude
probably
was my
for the
car
best.
gave me Jennifer Garner, so I mean it has some redeeming.
Well, one thing I was saying before I had my little hiccup there was that because I got to meet, I think I mentioned on prior streams, I got to meet Leah Thompson about
Yeah.
8 years ago at she was at a panel at Tampa Comic Con, and that was 2015, so it was kind of doing the whole Back to the Future 30th anniversary celebration. That was the focus of it, but the Howard the Duck was kind of the elephant in the room on that panel, and she was very diplomatic about it, but you could tell that anybody involved with this movie, they all know.
Yeah, I mean, she got.
Did
lucky.
she look
She got
embarrassed?
good movies sandwiched in between these.
No,
bad
not
ones.
well. I mean, she's had by that point. It was like she had 29 years to kind of, move on, bounce back, however you want to put it. So it's like, I mean, her attitude was kind of, we've all, nobody bats 1,000.
Ugh.
Numbers had something for you, William.
Oh Lord, I'm afraid to interact with you guys in this. Chat.
Numbers got
Yeah.
something for you. He's calling you out.
Remember, Jeffrey Jones went
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
to
he
Ferris
did.
Bueller's Days Off, Beetlejuice 1988, The Hunt for Red October, and The Devil's Advocate. The fact that you have to sift through the aftermath of this movie to find the people who didn't have to go into hiding is testament.
I'm gonna pull up the Wikipedia too and see like who survived the radioactive wasteland
left
after
out
this.
the two individuals that had to fight each other to take the blame for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, this movie was so bad it made Frank Price have the critic's job at Universal.
Yeah, and he left the country, didn't he? Didn't one of these guys get on a plane and fly away?
And who was this guy? Willard Hyuk.
Well,
Like
he
the
was
director.
Will Huck was like a script doctor for George Lucas. Like he worked on rewrites from the first
Yeah.
Star Wars movie, and he co-wrote Temple of Doom with his wife Goy of Katz.
I mean,
Which
I got
is-
his Wikipedia up. I mean, his
Yeah.
directing career came to a screeching halt after this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you look at these people's career, they had great careers for the most of them. They just literally disappear, and you have a couple people like Numbers brought up that have gone on. Leah Thompson recovered. Obviously, Tim Robbins recovered. George Lucas was bulletproof at this point. This is one
well,
of those
George
things
Lucas
like-
did The
Yeah,
Last
he was-
Crusade after this, so it's like he was fine.
Well,
Yeah,
he had such a he had so much success with Star Wars that you could fall back on.
Yeah,
with
he-
Indiana
George
Jones, you could fall
Lucas.
back on.
You can say that
Yes,
was,
The Last
I just-
Crusade, the final Indiana Jones movie, the perfect closeout to the saga, the 3-movie trilogy, the
Yeah,
greatest adventure
other-
saga pulp
That's a
of
whole
3
other-
movies possible.
That's a whole
Only
other
3
topic.
movies.
And the fourth one's pretty okay.
This guy. Look, I'm trying to cut it down to the 3 movies, man. I want that
I
back.
like the fourth one. After watching 5, I have a much appreciation for the fourth one now.
5. Well, I didn't have a problem with 5. Actually, I thought it wasn't bad. It's I kind of look at 5 more as the Dial of Destiny is almost more like an epilogue than really like the
No.
finale.
5 was much better than 4. I'm sorry. 4 was like a comedy.
Yeah, but there's always been trapstick,
I know.
over the top humor like that.
Oh,
But,
of
Vine,
course.
but swinging
No,
around
they
the
all have
vines was
jokes. They all have jokes, but the movie is like a comedy the whole time. Like it's
No.
weird.
It's executed better because you're not talking about a 70 and 80-year-old Harrison Ford. You got to give him the.
I guess
benefit of the doubt there.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Chappie's got a point there.
Okay, so why? All right, stop. Why are you trying to hide him? And you're just gonna let him walk around the museum?
Yeah.
And how
They show
come
him
Even
the chart of duck
CGI, they
evolution.
covered him up. I mean,
So, William, was this the same budget as like Roger Rabbit, for example?
No, Roger Rabbit was
Yeah.
huge. I think that
Yeah,
was
that
a-
was
yeah,
that
Roger
was
Rabbit,
pretty
he was
massive
doing
for
a
its time. Let me pull
groundbreaking
that
thing
up.
for that one.
All right, because I was gonna say if he was animated, I think it might work. But
Yeah,
having
yeah,
this
well,
real life
Well, if
guy,
he was
fine. I don't
animated,
think
that's
this movie
bad.
would have never happened.
Yeah, that's not the
Because-
only problem with it, though. Come on.
Yeah, you
I
were talking
know, but
about
if the-
bringing kids into animation, and you already starting off with duck porn. Like,
Yeah,
that's true. But Roger Rabbit's pretty adult too.
Yep. Yeah,
And it's
well,
like-
Not really. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
but
it's kind of adult theme, but I mean,
it's
look
not.
at
It's
Cool.
not. It's not.
it's not.
No, you're
designed
right. This
for
is more
kids,
adult.
you know,
implying
and-
porn. So
No, you're right. This is
Roger
much more
Rabbit's
adult.
budget was 50 million, but even
Yeah, it's
still,
50.6
50 million
million,
for a movie that was a hit versus this movie. Like I said, the biggest blowback in this movie was the amount of money that was spent on it for 1986 standards. I just told you, Aliens, one of the great science fiction. Look at that. Look at everything that is in Aliens, as far as like all the stuff that they did, and it's half the budget of this
And,
thing
and
that
think
we're
about,
watching.
think
Why
about
don't we watch
also-
Aliens for the next movie instead of stuff
yeah,
like
the
this?
good thing to
Let's
watch
watch
this
Alien
horrible
3.
movie.
Alien 3 is
I'm
my
keeping
favorite.
my word. That trust me, this is not.
And-
I'm
and
just
think
saying,
about-
next time,
And think
let's
about
not do the
also-
ironic, unfunny movie and do a good movie instead. Just a
Think about-
suggestion.
I would say that.
I would
think
say
think
that-
about also the the budget for how. Think about that adjusted for inflation. How much that would be. There are things that have been made in the years since. That's if you adjust for inflation, this would still be more that they spent on this.
Yeah. This would have gotten people like literally like fired. I mean,
I
like
mean,
not
but-
even.
I mean, like by today, I mean this might be like $100 million movie, budget by today's
Yeah.
adjusting for inflation, which that's like.
The only movie that these people would have been making had this been made today would have been the documentary of how they. Pretty much-
Oh, you are just on a roll tonight, man.
oh, this is-
So Leah Thompson just left him.
What did you guys say the budget was for this movie? 45 million?
No, 42.
36 million.
Which is
36
45 million
million.
too much.
How does this woman not know that he's a duck? Like, shouldn't this woman like pull off this duck's glasses? Like, she can tell. Like, I mean, he's got a beak. No human has a beak like that. Like, shouldn't you know? Like, hey, this is your normal.
Well, that's the thing about this too is that they play it so straight that nobody is perturbed the fact that they have this anthropomorphic duck just showing up out of nowhere.
I resort to my default
No.
answer. It's a horrible.
It's
I think it's
$100
the
million.
worst.
It's $100 million movie in 2023
And
dollars.
it's shit like this. What was he gonna do? What was he doing? See, and it's basically an underlayment of porn, and it's overlaid with all. Now he's in a bathhouse. So
Very strange.
this movie's fucking horrible. Sorry.
Yeah, I think
guy
this is
wanted
worse
to
than.
make a porn, and this is what he got him. He said, "No, you can't do a porn. But how about this? This is our movie next time. You do what you want with this."
I
Oh,
wonder how
man.
I wonder how they were able to get away with this content in like a PG movie. And this was back when like the PG-13 rating was created, so it's kind of.
Oh, back when
remember
PG actually
the
meant
scam
something,
that the PG-13 rating is. Red Dawn had kids, adolescents getting their heads
shot
split open.
graphically. Yeah.
The first 15 minutes of Red Dawn is R.
Yeah, this is definitely worse than Tiptoes.
Then what?
Tiptoes, where Gary Oldman plays a little person.
Oh no, I've never.
Oh my god, you gotta look it up. It's like the
Yeah.
worst. It's like, how was that made, man? It's so horrible, and it has little people in it. But Gary Oldman is the.
He was really trying to. He's really trying to outdo himself in that one, huh?
Look at
Oh, yeah.
Battlefield Earth.
Yeah, these are that has
No.
Scientology backing it. So.
That'd be a good one for the next one, William. is
Oh
that-
yeah, we should.
Oh, oh, it's so bad.
It's horror.
It's John Travolta's passion
John
project for
Travolta's.
years.
You're still learning how to spell your name.
Can you imagine? Okay, if something like that just was walking around the street, I mean, just
Hey, why did they have to put this in the movie? Him pushing him into that mud puddle, like that was just too much.
why did they have to make the movie?
Like, did they really have to pandle that much to these stupid little kids? Like, do they?
This
who
movie
think
was
that
not
kids?
made for kids.
That's the thing. It's if for kids or not. It like doesn't know.
Yeah, I
No.
know.
It doesn't know what it's doing.
That's the
The
thing.
stories you read in the comic
know
books
who
are
their audience is, 'cause
suitable for kids.
Oh, William, I have a little tidbit of knowledge to tell you. I have a friend who actually wrote a spec script for a Howard the Duck movie.
How was it?
I'm trying to get him to send it to me.
I'm sure it's better than this movie that was made.
Oh, it's probably good. I mean, he's a great guy, the dude. He was actually a wrestler in Kaiju Big Battle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was
He
Dr.
was-
Cool.
Man.
Is
Hey,
he,
listen,
like,
guys,
trying to
some of these
I
facts
got
you're
you
bringing
some
up,
of
it's making it worse. The rating for this movie, I think, was a PG.
PG. It's PG.
Yeah. That's
I think
bullshit.
The PG-13 was more for like blood and I think like violence.
Yeah.
Listen, we're gonna do
When
a
it
deep
first
dive
started.
on one of our shows of the bullshit that PG-13 was. What PG-13 was is because they didn't want to make these movies that they were making for the Rat Packs and the teens. They didn't want to make them R because at that time you couldn't get in. So they made PG-13 so they could still have Emilio Estevez and Rob Lowe and all these people in what were essentially R-rated movies without
Yeah.
having to drag your parents along and killing the box office. That's all that
I mean,
was.
look at Naked Gun. There's like a naked penis in that movie, and that somehow got a PG-13 rating.
Well,
Yeah,
I think most
so-
of the MCU could get by with a PG. I mean, PG.
You really can. You really can.
Honestly, yeah, the 13th for the edginess.
Yeah, like they say dick so much in the MCU. Like, don't be a dick. He's a dick. It's like I think that makes it PG-13.
That's what they got
apologies
PG-13.
goes
Yeah.
out to
Wait,
everyone.
guys, here's this awesome song from Leah Thompson.
Oh yeah.
This
I mean, this music is good.
That dance is
Yeah,
probably
no,
guys.
she's a
Is,
great
is this,
singer,
is this
man.
okay? Here is this the kind of what was this about like the late '80s where it's like they had to put Leah Thompson with teased hair and all kinds of things?
That was legit.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the,
yeah.
it's the age.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the era.
I don't think that's her best look though. I
I
don't
should have put a scroll.
Oh,
at
she
the end
looks
of this
fine. I
Apologizing,
don't mind it.
apologizing to everybody who grew up in the '80s. This movie takes the worst aspects of the '80s and says, "Here,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh god.
that hair, those outfits, the clothing, that's all accurate." Because they didn't,
Yeah.
they didn't spend the money on the wardrobe.
I know that.
They just came as they were.
You gotta at least admit that Leah Thompson's a good singer like him. She's got a little beautiful voice.
Yeah, yeah.
That is cool that she actually sang in this.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, she went the extra mile,
Yeah.
far more than this
Yeah,
movie
wonderful,
deserves.
wonderful. That saved the movie for me.
She's like, I have to be a real actress at least in one sense if I'm doing this.
Yes, Ruth, it is very raunchy for a PG.
Yeah, I know.
There's nothing wrong with you, David Riley. Nothing wrong with you. You're okay. This movie is not.
Well,
No.
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 no, I'm sorry, dude.
Now, Battlefield Earth is worse, but that's a different license.
Numbers is trying to make
Numbers,
sure
pull this one by
everybody's passed
numbers.
out before the other show today.
William, pull up this one by numbers. This is really good.
Yeah.
You know
I
what?
was going to suggest take a
everyone take a shot every time you say this movie's fucking terrible. But I'm afraid everyone you die of alcohol poisoning.
Yeah. Yeah, this is gonna bleed over into the mainstream tonight, I'm sure, where it's like we're gonna be like recovering from Howard the Duck as we try to cover actual topics of the week.
All right, judging from the comments and stream I'm watching is Twitch and 3 to 4 ahead of what you guys are commenting. There may be a delay. I had some delays on mine, so
I mean, it's not like you guys are missing anything.
yeah, it's
Right.
not like we're watching The Godfather and I gotta explain it to you.
I'm
We can
lined up.
watch
I'm lined
BVS
up with the
over-
Twitch on Vince's with my TV. So I mean,
We could be watching BVS right now instead of
Uh,
this.
that's what we got to do. We got to do a marathon of that. You know, the Zack
Yes,
Snyder.
let's do it.
you guys got 10 hours?
And,
Oh, here we go.
and it's not all kidding,
I
but-
barely have the 2 that I'm going with this.
Howard's, yeah, he's okay. He's gonna stand up for his lady's honor now.
Yep.
Oh, duck kebab. Yeah, scriptwriter. There you go.
Is that's also the guy? Another little bit of truth. I think that's the guy who was his name escapes me, but he was the parking lot valet in Ferris Bueller that goes joyriding with the Ferrari all day.
Look how slowly this duck is punching.
Oh, nobody's got that good of an accuracy with the ice pick going through the earring.
He could be.
You don't know how good his quack foo skills are, Brad.
Yeah.
You don't know what they practice.
This is terrifying.
Yeah.
This is much scarier than Leprechaun. I was just thinking this the
Holly
whole time.
Robinson
No. Stop right there.
That was
Stop
Holly
right
Robinson
there.
Pete right
You
there.
will not defame the Leprechaun movies by putting them in the same sentence as this creeping pile of shit. You know,
I know.
No,
but-
I would watch Leprechaun. And
every single
no, I would
Leprechaun,
watch Howard the
including-
Duck over Leprechaun. Leprechaun is too much for me.
Really?
That's stupid.
Dude, you're gonna get kicked out,
dude,
man.
Dude, Leprechaun is
We're-
stupid, man. That is like the
It's Warwick
dumbest con-
Davis.
Oh wait, how am I
Leprechaun in
supposed to
the Hood?
take that seriously? A freaking leprechaun killing people.
Okay, first
That's
of
an
all,
old
if you're taking a leprechaun seriously, we're already off to a bad start. Leprechaun in the Hood? That's a classic, man. No, we,
I mean, come on, like leprechaun in space, weapon.
It's Warwick Davis.
I will give you that one. Every time a franchise goes to space, it's usually over. But Leprechaun is the only one that went into space and came back and redeemed themselves. Ice-T, not the Ayatollah Rock and Roller, the cop on NBC. No, cop killer. No, his role in Leprechaun in the Hood, where him and Warwick Davis are rapping back and forth, is an all-time great.
And by the way, everybody, what William just said about going to space being where you jump the shark.
I mean, I
that's
liked
why-
Jason X. Jason X is
yeah,
pretty good.
yeah, I like it, but it's stupid.
Yeah, I know.
And what William just said about once you go to space, that's jumping the shark. I mean, this is why
I
you
mean,
can't.
F9 went to space.
Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
why.
say
And
Fast
that's
and
why.
Furious.
And that's why you're not going to hear William like sharing any like passionate commentary on Fast and Furious because like I'm out at that point.
Well,
I still
they
haven't
were
seen number
already
10.
ridiculousness of
They
Fast
stopped.
and
They stopped having
Furious.
street races around 2, right?
You know what really makes me sad?
They were
is-
racing in a cave where they blow their own cars up as the stakes.
Or United
That's-
Missile,
We're getting more
United.
viewers. We're getting more viewers on this than we did our Star Trek watch parties. What the hell's wrong with the world?
which is a
What
tragedy,
is-
which is an absolute tragedy.
It's because people are drunk.
This is a public disappointment.
Well, I mean, it's a riff tracks kind of mindset they have for it.
well, people are day drinking too. I gotta. Alcohol has to be involved right now.
That's right. This movie is only watchable with booze, I think.
I mean, you got to be
Yeah.
doing a line to really try to be like justifying this one.
Look up Ed Gale here. Yeah, he's retired too. Ed Gale, the guy in the Howard the Duck suit.
Yeah.
But he actually did have a career. He had a pretty significant career.
Well,
This was his
wasn't
first
wasn't
movie.
he Chucky White?
Yeah, he was Chucky. He was.
Yeah.
What else he done?
Well, little guys like that can move. Like yeah, Warwick Davis is still getting roles.
Yeah. Well, he was able to dodge it because his face wasn't on screen too.
Well, that's
So,
true.
so he's
Well,
retired.
do
Mostly
you
the
end up-
decision makers. The
killed
decision
by-
makers paid the
killed by-
price.
Hey, at
Hey,
least you
William.
guys can't see this movie on 2 screens.
William,
Yeah.
how many Easter eggs from the comics do you know of, or from Marvel Comics at all in this movie? Do you know of?
Good
There are
question.
quite a few that are just done poorly.
Well, also,
Really?
I mean, that implies he
But-
would be inclined to sift through.
I'm
it
not going to
find-
watch this again, so you want to go ahead and maybe clue us in on a couple that you know of?
No.
I can't believe we
Well, him smoking a cigar, that's part of the
Cigar
comics.
is number one. The cigar is
Okay.
probably the most famous one. How he's transferred into this thing, it's the nexus of all realities that they don't really bring up. Then that's where he meets up with the Man Thing and all that. Is all this weird stuff happens at a point. That's what made the Man Thing such a great comic. Is you could have a Howard the Duck or somebody in it because all these goofy things met there, and that's where all this sorcery happened. So Howard the Duck, it was more sorcery than a lot of anything.
So we could just pretend this came out right before Werewolf by Night, right?
If you know the thing about that, in all seriousness, is right now he should have been in that Werewolf by Night thing.
Yeah,
He belongs there. This
He's
guy
already
was
in
actually-
He was already in Guardians, so like they didn't have an
Yeah.
excuse not to have him off in the corner or something. It doesn't cost them anything.
Well, I mean, if
They
you
made
guys
that movie at somebody's house.
Do you
If-
think?
if you-
I was
if you
gonna
look
say
at
this.
that
Like, do you
special-
think if they would have done a sequel, like they would have included Man Thing?
No. There was never going to be a scene. You could be sitting in this and knowing that there was never going to be anything more of this movie. But
well,
if
I
you
just
look
thought
at
of
the,
this.
if you look at the Man Thing special that they did, the tone of comedy was the same tone of comedy as it was written in the comic books. That's the tone of comedy that I would have expected from this movie. Weird, but kind of horror. There was more of a horror aspect at certain times.
Well, and what
um,
William, what you just
There
what you
wasn't
said
the
about
sleaze. Yeah, there wasn't the sleaze element that this movie had.
what you just said though about like there would never be any kind of continuation. I just thought of the one way I could see this version of Howard the Duck continuing is if Deadpool.
All right, hold on. Okay,
He
The
saw
whole
that coming a mile
Ruckus
away.
Backfish-
That could be cool.
with a half-naked Leah Thompson, and he's just
I
staring
never-
at women's asses this whole movie.
on.
And right here, if you've eaten anything, you can go ahead and get offline and vomit. She strips down to her little negligee thing and her panties and allows a duck to get in the bed with her.
But let's be honest, this woman's about to bang this duck right now.
Are you fucking kidding me?
that should be like plastered over
this-
like the you should have put that over the thumbnail before we started. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Not that I haven't seen this before, but every time I see this, it gets worse and worse and worse.
It is terrible.
We still got over an hour left of this movie.
Yeah, and now it's an HE
So
just for
nasty.
you, William.
This movie's
You know
having
what?
opposite.
Fuck! And she's a human. You didn't bring that up. And there's the erection. You know what? This is such a horrible movie. Yeah, mute kid.
Realistic. Think about the fact that he
Oh
actually
my
just
God.
said this line in this context. Let's be realistic.
What was it like seeing this in the theater when you were? Oh,
I just kept looking over to my dad and just saying, you know what?
Yeah, like
He's
how
never
how
gonna-
long were you in therapy after this?
He's never gonna take me to a movie again.
Oh yeah.
So
He's-
nasty. It's so nasty.
Keep the top on, not with the duck, please.
Yeah.
also, like, were people like walking out or no?
Oh my god.
And look at Will. I mean, just look at it's the square there.
Screenshot that. That's really
He's devastated right now by watching this.
Oh yeah, the Ferris Bueller principle.
Just walk right into somebody's parking
Yeah,
lot.
fun. I agree.
Yeah, we're just very good friends. Yeah. Yeah. Pull up the covers.
You know what I couldn't explain? How I got there in 1986. How I got here. George Lucas. Yeah, exactly. Fun. Let that sink in. She was about to disrobe.
That's what I was.
Oh, look at Daniel Martin's comment here. No,
It doesn't matter. We're
No,
not,
there's no
No.
extended
and don't
cut.
anybody
No.
create the hashtag for that one.
No. The answer
There's
is
not
no.
even like deleted
No.
scenes on the Bluray.
Oh, are
Like, I
you
got-
are you wanting? Are you implying that? Did you guys want to see the uncensored scenes? No. Okay, that's just horrible.
Well, there's no deleted scene, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Leprechaun in the hood. Leopard in the hood. About to do no good, boy. That's
So
some classic
dumb.
shit right there. Not from this one. I mean, you want to do a Howard the Duck again, it better be in the MCU, to be honest with you. That's the only time I will say that something that was done better. I don't want Miles Morales in the MCU, but if you're going to do Howard the Duck, you definitely need to do him.
Well, they
I want to see my Howard the Duck reboot, damn it! And
Well,
like,
and-
let's
and-
have Leah Thompson's daughter, Zoe. What's her name? Zoe Deschanel. Not this. Wait, what's that girl's name? What's Leah Thompson's daughter's name?
I don't know.
Well, also, if you know, it's Zoe Dutch.
Yeah, they should have her play Beverly in the new one.
Well, see, and you have a lot of people point out if you like look closely in the kind of the final battle, the assembly part in Endgame, you can actually look closely. You can find Howard the Duck in there.
Yeah, he's right next to Wops.
Yeah, and he's in Guardians of the Galaxy. That's how they used him then.
Yeah,
That's
he was
how
actually, yeah.
used. He actually integrated into the. He wasn't a joke like this. Yeah, it was funny because it was still a duck, but it wasn't like this. This is bad.
I mean, well, the sad part about this is like this was what killed off the character off like many years. Like no one knew.
Yeah, this
how
movie
the
was
Duck
so
could get in
bad. It's
comic
like
books.
he lost like all prominence in any format or any medium whatsoever.
It wasn't until when James Gunn brought him back in Guardians of the Galaxy that will revamp the character again. Which
'Cause he
praise
brought
to
him back
James
in
Gunn.
Proper context. He brought him back in a proper context in the proper environment. This shit here, I don't know what these people were smoking.
Probably on
There must have
cocaine.
been some
not
pure
cocaine.
cane. There must have been piles of cocaine around a round
86.
table that spun.
86. Everybody had piles of cocaine everywhere all the
that's
time.
True, yeah.
And I'm
That's
not talking
true.
about the cut stuff. I'm talking about the shit straight from Colombia, dropped right on your roof.
Right.
Opened the bag up, and you just started snorting it in order
Yeah.
to justify $36 million on this movie. And
Yeah, so I'm
not
gonna-
only with the drugs for the concept, there had to have been even more powerful shit being chased to the dailies, because you have to watch dailies when a movie is made. So somebody high enough up
that's it.
sat
That's
and
it.
watched this. So that tells
And-
me drugs
And
was
prove
around.
that, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up to some of the from the Wikipedia, like in some of the stuff William was talking about with people trying to pass blame off onto each other. It's like
That's on the IMDb trivia page.
Yeah, it's under reception. It says Huck or Hyuk. I'm not sure. Brandon.
Playing
He said,
twice.
he said test screenings quote went well and people laughed, but Katz claims she tore up negative response cards. They say, "Hey,
Yep.
we got 90% screening."
And she
I
basically
believe that
Rotten
one.
Tomatoed it.
Do you think maybe this was like a Catwoman situation where they looked at like the first cut, they're like, "Oh my god, this movie's horrible."
No, I
Well,
think it was a Catwoman situation where a bunch of people thought they were making a good movie.
Well,
And they just weren't good at Catwoman.
well, not only that, I mean, it's like if the one we got, I mean, this is what we're saying about it. I mean, imagine how much worse the initial cut was.
yeah.
Hold on, I got to mute.
Yeah,
this.
it would have been no small feat to make this movie and put all the effort in.
Well-
So they were taking this seriously enough that they thought they
No.
were making a good movie, like William said.
Which is sad. You never listen. I never want to see a filmmaker fail or do a movie that's just going to write in their career. But they did. That's what these guys did. The guys who made the decisions of these movies are literally. You have more of a chance of finding where they buried Hoffa than you have of finding some of the people who greenlit this.
Yeah.
And if you do find them, they're probably going to have those. You know how you have those face in the shadows and the distorted voice and all that. That's pretty much what they're going to be. He's even in their current job as a pizza guy or a
Well, have they,
Well,
have they,
a
have they ever
Walmart
done
door
any kind
greeter
of,
or whatever.
has there ever been any kind of like in-depth behind-the-scenes documentary on Howard the Duck?
No,
I don't.
only
I
a
don't
look
think
back.
Hey, William, you see this doctor here is David Paymer, Picard's buddy.
so. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
a
you
select
guys
few
gotta
people
re-
survived this.
Well, you guys got to remember, like Frank Price, after when he got fired from Universal, he went on to go work at Columbia Pictures. So at least his career kind of survived a little bit.
Yeah, it's like you're watching this movie, feeling like, oh, that guy survived. That guy didn't, relatively unscathed.
Hey, William, when 2023 started, I bet you thought you were watching Dune and not Howard the Duck.
Dude's a horrible movie.
That is, oh, come on, man. That's salt in an open wound. Come on.
No, I'm talking about the David Lynch one. That one's terrible.
I agree.
The David Lynch one doesn't age well, but at the time it was cutting edge. At the time that movie was released, that movie was everybody wanted to be a part of that movie. And by its standards in the 80s, it's considered a cult classic.
Well, those
Now-
sandworms have really aged well.
Yeah, I mean, but we got to realize where you're at here. With that type of movie and all the people that were in that movie, Sting, all those people, and where he was in his career, that was considered as an epic, and it's a cult classic. Now it doesn't age well at all. Just like Batman '89 for me doesn't age well, but it's still,
Hey,
This-
Batman '89
this
is a
movie
classic.
right here-
I love that movie.
this
But that's
movie
the
right
point
here-
William's making is Dune is a classic to him, even though it may or may not be as accurate or as well made as it needs to be.
Well, I mean, a lot of what you're
No,
saying
no,
about
and
Batman
but-
89 is
okay,
that's
but
the
with
nice
Dune-
soundtrack.
With Dune, the standard for Dune wasn't what the standard for Dune would be today. When you're making a movie like Dune today, you're using
Right.
a lot of the history and the source material that was in. We're talking about the '80s. They just wanted to get shit on the air, and they wanted to they wanted to take advantage of the stars of that day.
Who?
Kyle MacLachlan was on the rise. Sting was Sting.
And
Patrick
Brad
Stewart-
Dourif.
Patrick Stewart was a highly regarded Shakespearean actor that was just now hitting his stride. And he was in a lot of movies, and then he got Star Trek, After Life Force, and all those. These guys are all, and that was considered a epic movie. You wouldn't be able to make that movie today simply because Dune now you want to hear the history, the lore, the size of it.
That movie came out in '84, right, William?
Yeah.
What year did Excalibur come out?
82.
And Patrick Stewart was in Excalibur as well, right?
Yeah. That was at the point where Patrick Stewart, like in the early 80s and to mid 80s, he started focusing more on his theatrical or his big screen career.
Yeah,
Because he's an excellent
thespian.
actually, yeah. As a matter of fact,
Oh,
almost
come on. This was just the most. I'm sorry. That was the most like. How do you set up a trap that obvious and he falls for it?
He
Yeah.
put his head right in the fire.
Dove in. He put his arm. He didn't just reach in and get it out. He he got down waist deep into the trash can to get that cigar out.
Why are
Head
we showing
first
each
instead of like knocking it over or something.
Brad, I
other? Why
got
don't we have-
one to top.
You got to
We don't have a canine unit that can sniff out a duck?
I got one to top that stupidity for you, Brad. Have you ever seen District 13, the French version, or whatever, 13 Blocks or whatever it's called?
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah! I love
Do
that.
you remember the guy jumps out the window and catches the rope and
Oh,
turns
yeah,
around
yeah.
and the first guy jumps after him and lands in a fucking car? Like, what was he gonna expect jumping out the window with no rope after the guy?
Yeah,
That is
guy-
the dumbest. That's dumber than that. That's the funniest shit I ever saw.
that
but-
that guy. He didn't think that through.
Yeah.
That's a Luc Besson, that's a Luc Besson film, right?
Yeah.
I'll
Okay.
take the Garbage Pail Kids.
No.
Well, that's
Garbage
also
Pail
pretty
Kids
awful.
was as horrible as it's supposed to be.
That
No,
is
I'll
also
take
pretty
Howard the
awful, to be
Duck.
fair. I mean, let's not sugarcoat that either.
Now, Garbage Pail Kids was supposed to be literally a trash movie. They weren't trying to make a good movie with that. They were trying to make a good movie. These guys sat around the cocaine pile and said, this is a classic. We did good. Now let's show it to everybody else. And then one of the people who they showed it to weren't on the drugs, and they're like, what is this?
What?
If this was a straight up comedy, it would be cool. Like if it was like, oh, you haven't seen Howard the Duck? Oh, it's ridiculous. It's like really funny and just nuts.
This
But
should have
this
been
is
like
trying to be
you know what,
serious.
This should have been like the movie like Paul. You guys ever see Paul the Alien with Seth
Oh,
Rogen?
Alien?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's what How the Duck should have been.
Yeah, they needed like a comedy director.
They should get like if they do a Howard the Duck reboot, get Greg Moulton to direct it. It'll be perfect.
No, get Todd
Nah,
Phillips.
this is the
probably
kind of
kill it.
movie. Howard
Get
the
Edgar
Duck
Wright.
is
Yeah, you're right.
James Gunn material.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah,
do
but
that,
James Gunn's at
Yep,
DC,
good call,
he can do
William.
it.
This is right up James Gunn's alley. Nobody could
Yeah.
criticize him for making this. He'd do it well. He'd do it way better than this. He'd probably
could
give it
be
some
wrong,
heart,
too.
make it a classic.
I'm kind of surprised that,
Yeah.
that he never did after he had Howard at the end of Guardians. That wasn't like a.
I
set up
think
for
there was a
something he had
plan.
planned.
I think that was the plan. I think there was
Yeah,
a plan
you
to
could-
bring him in.
he
left DC first, or he got
Yeah.
fired and then came back.
James Gunn with Marvel was definitely catapulting it to cosmic Marvel without being like abrasive about it. He was showing the Eternals in his he was showing the Celestials in little background scenes in Guardians of the Galaxy 1.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I think he was supposed to head up the cosmic stuff.
Two biggest moves that ruined comic book movies are altered comic book movies is James Gunn being fired and being even allowed to be signed by DC, and Jeff Ropen not being appointed head of DC.
Well, that's a stream for another day.
If Gunn doesn't get fired the
Bad
first
fire
time,
did not
William,
change.
do you think that you get Silver Surfer and Galactus by now, or at least the hints of them?
I think you.
If he doesn't get fired after Guardians 2, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Are you starting to see hints in the 2023? Have we either got to Silver Surfer and Galactus, or are we seeing the hints of it? If James Gunn is still
I see
like
Kevin
he was,
Feige
if he wasn't getting fired over whatever happened,
Do you think
if James
that,
Gunn
do
hadn't
you
got
think he
fired, I
would
think
still do
Kevin
Howard
Feige
the
would
Duck
start
or
phasing
no?
stuff up.
would you say, William?
Yes.
Well, do you think so? Feige would have said.
If James Gunn hadn't been fired from DC, Kevin Feige would be phasing himself out of Marvel.
Oh, really?
out of
So
Marvel.
it would
I
have
think Kevin Feige
basically
really wants-
in an alternate universe, we'd be looking at James Gunn being the head of the MCU right around this time. Then
Yeah.
I think
Yes,
so.
because I think,
'Cause he was-
I think Kevin Feige is ready to run an entire studio and not just like a studio
Yeah, and
division.
that'll-
I think he would have
and that
probably
alternate-
moved on.
And in that alternate universe, we probably get JL 2 and 3 by now.
They
possibly.
said he was gonna. They said he was gonna be like in charge of all the cosmic stuff before he got.
But
it.
in all
that will be all
in
that
all-
Marvel is at the point.
in all likelihood, by 2023, their reboot would have happened here at DC, right?
Yeah.
So maybe Feige would have came in over here at DC after
That would be
to
fun.
run DC Studios or DC or Warner Brothers.
I could see it
Who
because
knows?
it's a challenge.
Don't
Once you make that much money and you've already done everything, you're looking for a challenge. You're looking for
Well, DC would be the biggest challenge in the world.
Yeah.
Assuming that Zach's in this alternate universe, Zach's trilogy gets finished.
Yeah.
James Gunn's about to head up the MCU. Feige goes over to well, DC wouldn't be flailing then if Snyder would have got his trilogy done. Maybe
That's
it would,
in an
maybe it wouldn't.
alternate universe.
Yeah, this alternate
would-
hypothetical non-Howard the Duck universe. Let's get back to the movie, guys.
Yeah,
That's dumb.
it sounds.
Yeah.
like
Oh, wait,
I
we
want to live
just
there.
got to the cafe now.
Cajun sushi is nasty, by the way.
Do you
Somebody
think they would
actually
ever do?
created
I
that
mean,
shit
I
after
want to
this
ask
movie.
you this, William. Like, do you think they ever would do a reboot of Howard the Duck, or you think that they're too scared of doing it, like a movie or like a TV
No.
show?
No, they would,
Oh,
they would
they'll do
definitely
that.
do it. They
Yeah,
wouldn't have
but
put
why
them in
have
the
they not
movie.
done it?
They wouldn't have put them in Guardians of the
Yeah.
Galaxy if they didn't have plans to use them.
Because we were supposed to get a Howard the Duck TV show from Kevin Smith and the guy who created Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and then that got canceled.
Whoa.
I don't think Kevin Smith. I love Kevin Smith, but I don't think he would have been the right guy. I really think that a James Gunn type has to be there because there's a certain balance that you have to strike with Howard the Duck to make it right. Yes, there's comedy, there's goofiness, but the way he's introduced and what he interacts with is deep shit. And I think that the environment that James Gunn brought him in with Guardians of the Galaxy was perfect. And you have to prime your audience for that. You have a talking raccoon, so now a talking duck is not going to be. It's
Not a big deal.
ridiculous. You
Yeah.
pretty much built your universe up to your audience will be able to accept just about anything. In '86, they just you had Superman and all these other movies, and then here you go with a duck. You got a Howard the Duck big budget movie before you got a Batman big budget movie, which is quite
Yeah,
that's
and
just not
that's
the way
so
it would work
crazy
now.
to think too. This movie is 3 years before Batman '89.
Yeah.
Well, it's like the first comic book movie.
Excuse me, Remo.
No,
I don't think I think you're looking at something else. Hold on. What's wrong with this?
I think he was getting at like we were talking about all the James Gunn potentially doing Howard the Duck in heading Marvel Studios.
Gee, William,
That
I
one.
think
I know
you're actually
James
watching
Gunn
the
hated
movie.
it.
Well, it's a coping
Oh.
mechanism, is what it is.
I can't directly watch it. I have to. This movie's awful.
Dude, I'd be
now it's
traumatized if I
following
was watching this.
Look at Jeffrey Jones. I mean, like, I think this is the exact point where he realized what this movie was going to turn into.
I remember, like, it was like on TMZ, and like someone asked him about this movie, and he looked just like, "Hey, like, I love Howard the Duck. Like, what do you think of Howard the Duck? Like, were people too hard of it back then?" He's like, whatever. I mean, I had fun making it, but that's about it.
That's about what Leah Thompson said too at that panel I was talking about, where it's, they people involved with this, they don't like to dwell on it. They just like to, yeah, I did that. Let's move on.
I mean, Tim Robbins doesn't really talk about it that much. Doesn't really.
John Landis. They wanted John Landis for this, and thank God John Landis.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, there is a documentary. Holy cow!
Oh man.
Whoa.
Check out Howard the Duck.
No, there
What
isn't.
Hudson Katz and Lucas began seriously consider adapting Howard the Duck. Oh, so he's not fully unculpable in this. Oh my God, Howard the Duck as a film, and met with Gerber to discuss the project. Steve Gerber's account differs slightly. He recalls. I can't read this without laughing. He recalls at the time he was approached to discuss the film. Lucas was not involved in the project. Okay, so maybe Lucas has rewritten history. It's like, do not mention my name in this shit. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, here's another good one on the Wikipedia. This is under the box office section. In July 1986, Huck and Katz stated the film's ending left over a sequel, which they seemed interested in making. However, after it bombed, talks with the sequel ceased. Following the failure, yeah, this is the part you were talking about. Following the box office failure, Huck and Katz left for Hawaii and refused to read any reviews.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
one
what's
of them literally got on a plane and left. All right, future Nirvana and Foo Fighters guitarist Pat Smear appears.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, he went on to much better things.
Yeah, highlight of his career. Wow, this is awful.
How about those post Star Wars graphics right there?
Just think of all the movies that didn't get made in the 80s because the
Right.
budgets got spent on this.
In lieu of this.
It's like, I'm sorry, we can't do your movie. We're making Howard the
Like
Duck.
canon films that they wanted to do that Spider-Man movie.
Oh, that would have been terrible.
That's like, oh yeah, it would have been better than this.
Yeah, no, this is better.
Yeah, I just made ketchup and mustard.
Emperor
explode.
Lightning.
What's the deal with him blowing up the ketchup? I never got this.
No, it's just this is the main areas back there.
It was. I think it was just to show that he had the kinetic powers or whatnot.
How
I'll be right back, guys. I'm being rescued from this movie by customers.
Hey, don't
You
leave
guys
us.
enjoy Howard the Duck.
Hey, we can always pause just for you.
No,
I'm
we
gonna-
can keep going.
I'm gonna look up like when this was in relation to Ferris Bueller, because it was the same year as Ferris Bueller. So did he bounce back or what's come after? Yes. Okay. Oh God, this August 1st, 86 for Howard the Duck, and Ferris Bueller was June 11th. So this was in the span of 2 months where he had this comedy classic and then just the biggest travesty of his career.
Wow.
Didn't Aliens beat this out too? I
You
think
mean
this got
Aliens-
beat
yeah,
up.
Aliens came out about 2 weeks prior. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that Sting in the back?
No.
This guy.
That's some trucker.
It's Trucker Sting.
Yeah. God, like
How he got the part in Dune.
2013, Wolverine would do this part so much better than the bar scene with the trucker guys.
Yeah, I used to love this movie as a kid because of Leah Thompson and Back to the Future and all that. But now I'm kind of ashamed that I own 2 copies of this movie.
This is so stupid. It's poor.
Don't have any shame. Just own it, man. You got 2 copies of it. Just own it.
This is too much. Like, why do they have to do this pie in the face? Like, this is like.
Well,
You're
again,
a connoisseur, Vince.
No, it's not like they're all just running into it. They're not like ducking. Like, why are they like running into the pie?
Yeah,
That's
like
so-
like
Because
William
it's a
said,
horrible movie.
Because it's the laziest pie fight of all time.
I know.
It's cocaine, it's clouds and mountains of cocaine. This is decision making.
No, it's true.
How is this entertainment?
They didn't know if it was a comedy or not, so they did everything. They're like, all right, in case it's a comedy, here's a
They're
pie
gonna take
fight.
him
In
back to
case
the
it's
They're gonna
serious,
cook 'em.
and so on.
Numbers, they would have just gave him a Uzi and let him go to work. That's how they would have made it in the 80s.
Did you see the Empire shirt?
They're literally gonna cook him. I forgot about this. This is kind of cool, actually.
I was gonna ask you guys, like, do you think
So
it
it's
was
kind of
because-
cool.
Here we go. This is what should have happened at the beginning of the movie. Although this is quite the what's the little lettuce? What the fuck?
What I'll say is
This is
a better movie about an animal coming from space is
This is probably
The
one of the
Cat from Outer
most
Space.
disturbing scenes of this movie, and this movie
What?
is filled with disturbing scenes.
I'm telling you, look at how
Let's see
checked out
the,
Jeffrey Jones is here.
Hulk reference.
This was the exact moment when he realized, yeah, this is not going the way they told
It's the
me.
dude from Big Trouble in Little China.
The other movie with an animal coming from space? You were just saying?
PG movie, guys. PG.
no, I'm saying a good movie about an animal coming from space is the cat from outer space.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It's a Disney
That's,
movie from like '78 or something.
I was
Oh, yeah.
remember that.
Had Roddy McDowell in it.
Nice. I'm gonna watch that tonight to get over this.
I mean, what he's done.
This is traumatic.
I mean, it's good for being a late '70s movie. I'm not saying it's spectacular either.
Yeah,
That's
well,
not
if it's good compared to this, then that'll cleanse me. It'll do the trick. This is insane.
these people are gonna like eat this stuck up.
Yeah, well, they were gonna eat him, I think.
That was high end special effects back then.
Yeah, when you just
Yeah.
make somebody
That's
glow
pretty good.
to signify they have powers.
That's not bad.
That's
3 years after Return of the Jedi.
No, this is like
Yeah.
this is the beginning of Ghostbusters kind of effects.
I was just thinking
Yeah, but
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters
Yeah.
came out in 1984.
84, yeah.
100%.
for less money too. I think.
Yeah, more bang for their buck.
Cocaine. You guys are forgetting the
There's more
cocaine
validity in
tax you guys are
Slimer
talking
and
about.
Slimer in this whole movie.
Oh yeah.
Whoa. Ooh, that's
Hey,
good
this
effect.
this is interesting right here. I like this. This is at least like interesting.
Well, now it's like an alien movie, like aliens dealing with humans. It's cool. Just get the duck out of there. It might have been a good movie. Nice.
There's a lot of effort just to cut that rope.
Have you guys seen the movie The Hidden?
No,
I don't think I have.
Kyle MacLachlan. That's a
I don't
good
think I-
one.
Okay, and now this is the point where he's realized what a horrible movie is, so he's just gonna have fun and just be hammy about it.
Yeah, just panned over.
that's
the
how Kenneth
videos
Warner
of-
was in Wild Wild West.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love his performance in that
Oh,
movie.
and he
His
is like he
performance
is the best reason to watch Wild Wild West.
Yeah,
Kenneth
seriously,
Branagh.
I love him in that movie. Like he plays like one of the best like cartoonist performances ever. I love it.
Yeah. Look at this. There's still over 40 minutes left in this movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing about Howard is the pacing is horrendous.
oh,
No, I mean, it's
Yeah,
pacing. I mean, it's fine paced, but I don't know.
it's
Yeah,
so
That's
long.
why I panned over it because I wanted to see how much is left.
It's like an hour and 50 minutes or something.
So, yeah, it's 111
Is it
minutes.
over?
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
that's crazy.
I
It
just
was just
mentioned
gonna be
it,
90
I have
minutes.
50 minutes left.
We were just
William,
talking
where
about
are
how
you,
long
man?
it is.
Can't just abandon us.
That was a giveaway for Batman.
See, William has an excuse when he's like he combines streaming with in the office.
Ooh, here we go.
It's so good, dude. I love it. I love it. No, no, no.
I do not think that broke his head. Just oh god, that face.
That face is pretty funny.
Just think about this is something to ponder too. Just think about how many times and what a percentage of this movie is spent with Howard the Duck being levitated or thrown around or mobs eating him or something like that.
Oh, yeah, it's not cool. They're like, we'll get to throw him around a lot. It'll be great. It's like, that's not okay. There's a little guy in there.
Yeah, they probably blew a lot of their budget here with smashing the semi into things.
Oh, yeah. The action isn't bad. This is probably the best part so far.
Yeah, no, it's
This whole alien guy, like, wrecking stuff.
Oh, Beverly, that's my effort.
ugh.
Oh man, yeah.
Brad.
Yeah.
Looks like Numbers has a whole Spider-Man canon 80s concept idea going on over here.
Yeah, I can't pull up the comments already. I gotta say, if Canon kept Spider-Man as ground as they could with the character and made the main villain Kingpin played by King Kong Bundy, I think it'd be pretty. I mean, the big challenge would have been the effects of the time, but I mean, it's like
I mean, James Cameron was going to make a Spider-Man movie back in the 90s.
Oh god, that sounds read his concept for that sometime. That sounds it sounds like it would have been borderline R rated, but okay.
What is going on right now?
Sticking his tongue in like the
Yeah,
power
I think this is
cigarette lighter or
good
whatever
practical effects right here.
That's true.
And once again, it's like the fire department showing up and seeing a talking duck and nobody's batting an eye.
Now he's trying to disguise himself as a talking duck.
I think the guy playing that cop, he survived. He's in stuff.
Who was he in that afterwards?
I mean, I think he's in like a lot of like Law and Order type stuff. Like,
Yeah.
plays a cop a lot. I mean, he's working.
Oh god, look at the pose he's trying to pass himself off as a chicken.
See what I'm saying?
I think the guy playing Howard actually did a good job for the material he was given, but yeah.
Yeah,
But the acting is decent. Everyone's doing their job. And they probably did have a good time making it.
Oh yeah, so again, there was cocaine everywhere.
And a lot of times when people are making a movie, like actors, they're like, I don't even know what the story is. They just do
Right,
the
they
scenes
just
each day, and they don't know what
Yeah.
it's going to turn into.
I mean, look at
Exactly.
the Super Mario Brothers movie in the 90s.
Oh
Oh,
god, yeah.
How
God.
much of a nightmare that was making.
Oh,
And like
They were
John
trying-
Leguizamo and like Bob Hoskins had to get
That's
drunk
cut
every
from the same
single
cloth
day
as
to
Howard
get
the
food.
Duck.
dude,
What?
they had it.
What?
Yeah, I love how they had to get drunk every day to film that.
Yeah.
And then
No, I
John
love
Leguizamo.
read interviews with Bob. I'm gonna pull this up because he gave an interview like a couple of years before he passed away, where he
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
did-
like asked like
denounced
his big,
it.
yeah, what his biggest like regret and like most
I think that was Dennis
hated
Hopper.
movie.
I think that
Oh,
was Dennis Hopper. Because them, they were like changing his one-liners like every single time. They're like just rewriting the script, and he just went off at like the directors and producers. It was crazy.
Well, did you see how John Leguizamo got mad about the animated Mario movie? How
Oh
Yeah, I know.
movie? And
Wait,
I'm like, really?
oh, wait. I'm sorry to interrupt, guys. Go ahead.
No, I was like, really? Your movie? You and Hoskins admitted that like you hated that movie, but
Yeah,
now
William, you got to get
yeah.
back on here as soon as possible because Numbers has a comment that
Yeah, I know. Like, where's
Yeah.
William at? He's like, he's just abandoned
Exactly. I
us.
was just checking that.
The thing about Mario 2 is that they made 2 Italian characters, like an Irish actor and a Hispanic actor, and then he's saying like they took out the representation from the new one. I'm like, if anything, there's been no representation of the Italian.
Yeah, that's
It's
stupid.
just funny. Like they're Italian characters, so now you have like other people doing an Italian accent at times. It's kind of weird. It's like that's what like Leguizamo should be. That's what he's fighting for, pretty much. So,
yeah, still
but
better
yeah,
than
that
just had to get that in. Okay, this whole thing with the what is this, a gyro or like what kind of?
Yeah, see,
gyrocopter.
Who thought this was a good idea? What is this? Like what? Like they couldn't have Howard the Duck like driving a car instead.
I think he's too little to drive a car.
Oh, we used to put a brake on
that might be true. He's under 5 feet either.
William's missing this masterpiece right here.
Oh, he's seen it.
This customer for all these.
No, he's taking his time.
There you. Oh, now we're on the glider now.
Oh, he's back. Okay, William.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
now that you're back.
if it wasn't my job to be here forever, I would, because like I said, there's a talking point everywhere else. And like I said, well, now I'm in the process of once we have one more day of this, and they're fixing the roof and redoing the electrical over here. So I'll have that done, and then I can get everything organized in my Star Wars section and my back section. So.
Okay, so wait, Numbers
All right,
has a
guys, you have a
comment.
nice evening.
Yeah, you should pull up this comment from Numbers here because this is very pertinent to this discussion of Howard here.
So the music fits in this part, Chappie.
Yeah, the music's okay, but the structure itself is just stupid.
Oh God, it's horrible.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Fun. These people have no sense of adventure.
Someone wrote this. Think about this. Someone wrote this like him on a glider and thought that this was a good idea.
Yeah, it was
like no one, including George Lucas, no one thought that like this was stupid on set.
Yeah, it's slapstick written by somebody who doesn't understand either slapstick physics.
And let me just say this: this is written by the same people who wrote Temple of Doom. Okay, arguably one of the best. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Temple of Doom. That's
written by those two people. I know. Like arguably like one of the best sequels ever, and they wrote this piece of.
Yeah, and her career, she got one.
All right, Numbers. I'm gonna read this real quick. Numbers. I feel that the Star Wars holiday film is more embarrassing than Lucas's legacy than Howard the Duck. I don't think you can touch Lucas at this point. I mean, he's George Lucas. These other unknowns and mid-level guys, their careers were probably over for the most part. But Lucas had produced. By the time this came out, Lucas was already on Mount Rushmore. So I don't know if you can hurt him.
I mean, Luke, he had like such an. I mean, just off of Star Wars merchandise. I mean, he was a billionaire by that point. So he
plus, you weren't going to hurt his credibility. I mean, he'd given you so much by 1986. Everybody has a bad day at the office. Unfortunately for these other guys, this was their only day at the office. They didn't have Star Wars to say, oh, I had a bad day at the office, so here's my next movie. No, they didn't get a next movie for the most part.
And, by the way, I just realized this, William,
this one was
pissed you off so much, is that there is, if anybody's seen the documentary The People versus George Lucas, there is no mention at all of Howard the Duck in it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think there's a reason for that.
I got to find a documentary about this.
Are they all mad about episode 1?
No.
It's all Star Wars focused. There's a droplet of Indiana Jones here and there in it, but it's mostly Star Wars.
Oh my God!
Well, William, I was going to ask you this: like, do you think, like, with George Lucas' star power, with like
look at this.
Star Wars and like Indiana Jones, do you think that's how he was able to get this green light?
Yeah,
exactly.
I think they used that name. Yeah.
Because even though like maybe like the execs with the script be like, wait, what the heck is this? But hey, it's George Lucas. I mean.
Yeah, no, he had the clout to get something that's stupid greenlit, including like something that's stupid that has the gyro like bouncing up and down like a basketball.
Yeah. I mean, James Cameron was able to get John Connor killed in Dark Fate, and no one told him that was a stupid idea.
Yeah.
James Cameron didn't direct that, did he?
No, he co-wrote it. He produced it.
Oh.
Apparently that was his idea. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Horrible movie.
Yeah, you get enough clout that you really can just just call your own shots.
Yeah,
I know,
once
it's
you reach
like-
a certain
Like
level,
no
you
one
can make
executive,
mistakes.
like no one at Skydance, including David Ellison, like no one thought that was like a stupid idea. Like, hey, you know what? This is gonna piss off a lot of people, and this is probably gonna like destroy the legacy of T2. Or like maybe this isn't a good idea, but hey, it's James Cameron, so I guess he knows what he's doing.
See, Chappie, this is the punchline of the joke you were asking about. Why is the duck flying in the plane so he can get back at the hunters? That's the big setup of the knockdown.
Yeah,
You gotta let it breathe, man. I know it was bothering you, man. Just give it a little air. It's still bad. It's still bad. I don't disagree with you, but there's more to it.
You got to give them credit for writing at least.
Yeah.
They figured duck hunters into it. They were like, oh,
Yeah,
that guy's
how
duck.
long are they gonna?
Yeah.
I forgot.
What's a
Like, how
duck
long,
team?
how long did they hold this out where he can't get like an altitude of higher than 10 feet with this?
It's been so long before he got high. It's crazy.
They're chewing up the film for sure.
Yeah, they were
They're
like,
chewing up runtime. Yeah.
oh look, there's the
All right,
Wilhelm
Vince,
screen.
How much more suffering? We got
Yeah,
what,
there's
20
still
more minutes of this? This movie,
there's
it seems like
28
this
minutes
movie is
left, man.
lasting forever.
my God, 28.
Seals.
It's like
3
1,000
times
years
longer.
long.
That's the thing.
I will
is,
say
like,
the good part about this is I am gonna go see the creator after this movie. So
Oh, this.
Yeah,
that-
Oh,
that-
Vince,
you're gonna love
yeah.
it.
yeah, I'll be seeing it at 8:00.
Yeah,
See,
that's almost necessary after this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good exercise in film, like seeing something like this and then seeing something like that.
Yeah.
Like polar
Really is-
opposites.
Well, the
Years
creator
now,
is made by real filmmakers that know
That's
what they're
right.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Mastermind.
you know,
Gary
But
Oldman.
that's the case about the George Lucas is a real filmmaker who knew how to make films. He just chose to make a bad film or pursue a bad film.
Yep.
And then you have oversight. You got to have oversight.
Right.
You got
Hey,
to have
William,
somebody that
I
can tell
thought you hated
no.
eye torture.
Yeah, I mean, Lucas and Cameron, like, they have great ideas, but then they also have horrible ideas. It's like,
Well, not really Cameron. It was just his idea of killing off John Connor. That was just a bad idea. That should have
Yeah,
never
that-
happened.
yeah,
that whole movie was a
Yeah,
bad
I mean,
idea.
well,
Yeah,
the movie's
me.
terrible. It's a terrible
Yeah,
film, but
terrible. Yeah.
Well, because
I like
I
Genesis,
enjoyed Dark
though. I think it's okay.
I enjoy Dark Fate, but I do agree. I mean, it's like, yeah, with John Connor at the beginning, yeah, that is like equivalent to Hicks and New at the beginning of Alien 3.
Yeah, but Alien 3 made sense still, okay? Like, at least Ripley was still alive. Now, if you would have killed off all 3 characters, I would have been pissed off. But
Yeah.
it was just the side characters. That's why I didn't mind. That's why I was okay with it.
I forgot how long this goes on for with this whole thing with them flying.
It's-
Yeah,
they've
it
been
goes on
flying
for a
for
long
so
time, I
long.
know.
That's why we're talking about
They got to
Terminator.
the plane before William got to his customer.
And
And
again,
yet here
it's
we
like,
are.
and there's no they just drag this out. It's like they don't think to get any higher elevation. It's like it's just slapstick by people who don't know how to do slapstick.
Uh-oh.
I have run out of adjectives to describe just how fucking horrible this movie is.
Oh, William, pull this one up from numbers right now. This is great. No, I think Fourth took up our numbers account.
I think William isn't dealing with customers. I think he set up the sound system to make it seem like he was busy so that he wouldn't have to watch Howard did that. I can roll back our security camera to show you.
he has a chat GPT set up on his phone and the voice just does it off on the speaker, huh?
That's not even William right now. It's the AI.
Right, we got AI William here.
Yeah, he set up a whole program.
William is just devastated.
I hate Howard the
right
Duck
now.
program.
Digital William.
Well, at least you guys can see why the hate for this movie is where it is. It's an awful movie. I mean,
Oh, it's really
I don't
bad.
want to say it's awful, but it's not good.
I mean, it's fun
High
to
praise,
watch
high
with friends,
praise.
but that's about it.
Yeah.
If you're drunk, like if you drink and watch with your friends and laugh at it, but that's about it.
Now you have to have a riff track set up for it to endure.
William, I think Fun's asking if you're going to be calling in sick to work to the show later.
nah, I need that show to do because once we're done with his, I'm adding Howard the Duck to the band list on the chat, so you guys can't even bring it up no more.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
It should be banned.
How come I
Oh, we're
can't type
putting a
the
row
duck?
of
No
duck-
more duck emojis. This is it.
Anyone who brings up Howard the Duck needs to be banned for like 1 minute.
Yeah, you just have to say if anyone brings it up, nope, I dealt with that already.
No,
I'm done
We
with
saw
that.
it, so we could put it in the dead horse now.
Yeah,
And
say
you know
look
what,
at my
Louis?
old videos.
I'm just realizing that your emoji has duck human interaction on it.
I made that before it started.
Right. He made a whole new name for it and everything.
It's
I
just
know.
for today. Don't worry.
I hope so.
This is
Oh, I
still
wouldn't
going
have-
on. This stupid plane class. It's still.
I'm not
still
gonna
going.
make the mistake Fourth made.
Meathead with his meat walrus.
Oh yeah, Midnight Meatowitz.
See, Ruth's. I'm with Ruth on the suggestions here.
Midnight Meat Train is a good movie, though. By the way,
Oh, that's a great film. That's
Yeah.
that's quite Baker, right?
yeah, I think he wrote it,
That's a great movie.
and yeah, William hasn't seen it. That could be on the
No,
list.
it's shocking.
Yeah, it's brutal. And
Oh,
Vinnie
dear
Jones.
That was one of the worst action scenes I've ever seen in my life.
I hope you weren't expecting better. I mean,
No, I wasn't, but I mean, it was a reminder that's like, yeah, this Howard flying sequence that was really not done well.
It's like a half hour long.
It's like a third. It's like it takes up a
It's the
third
second
of
act of the movie.
Quarter of the third of it. Yeah. The best part so far has been the effects. Like the Ghostbuster style effects are pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But what is what?
this is straight out of Reanimator.
Oh, he looks so ridiculous.
Reanimator's the one with Jeffrey Combs, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you know the guys who wanted to do this wanted to reenact that scene with the Reanimator. You can tell right now,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
which is basically a porn scene superimposed on a science fiction movie. But
I mean, look at those. I mean, it's like Howard Hughes with the given like the Doc Brown makeover.
But the real what is what he look like? Yeah, William, the real porn reanimator is Repenetrator.
which is not very much different than the actual. Back in the 80s, some of these movies just had a gratuitous nudity because that's what you did back in the 80s. Like I said, there's no reason for the chick that just showed up to Camp Crystal Lake to get naked in front of a bunch of people she just met on a bus and jump into the pool. There's no reason why people you just met on a camping trip over the summer for you to be banging in places you know people have died. So, yeah,
William, to be fair, have you ever actually partied at Camp Crystal Lake, dude? It's pretty fun until Jason shows up.
Yeah, but you know why William? You know why William wouldn't be there?
Because he's got
After
sense,
Friday
but
the 13th
you're
one,
still missing
I
the party,
know-
man. You're still missing the party.
After Friday the 13th one, I know people have died there, and by 3, 4, 5, and 6, guess what? We're not going to Camp Crystal Lake. I'm not going to that alley over there if I know there's a bunch of shootouts and stabbings. All right, I'm definitely not going to take a date there. Come on, man.
I gotta ask you, like, if the Dark Water, like, is this part of comics? Because from what I've read, and from the comics that I've read, I don't think I've ever seen the Dark Ward.
I don't recall most of this. Most of, like I said, he comes into our universe via the Nexus of All Realities. He's literally in the swamp. That's where it locates. So,
It's pretty
oh my
cool.
goodness, where's Steve Gerber at? Is he still alive?
No, he
Moonraker?
died sadly.
Yeah,
It's sad that he had to see
oh wow,
this.
he's been dead. Happy belated birthday to him. He's dead since 08. He died
Yeah,
relatively
yeah,
young.
there-
By the way, somebody
There's a
else
song
who
for
who did actually survive this was Paul Guilfoyle. I think he's one of the cops. He had a pretty. This is actually one of his first movies, so he's had a pretty extended career since then. He was actually you guys might remember him as one of the president's like right hand men in Air Force One. He's actually the guy they had to zip line across that got shot. At the end of the movie.
Oh my goodness.
William has no words to express his anger.
Yeah, we
It
did.
took these two characters, our heroes, all this time to move a total of 4 feet forward, and now they're going back.
So bad.
So William, was like, now seeing this in the theater in '86 was like, were you like, did you at this stage of the movie, did you feel were you ready to walk out? Did you feel like, oh no, I'm going to stick it out?
Well, I didn't want to prove my dad wrong because my dad told me it was a stupid movie, and I didn't want to.
Your dad was right.
Did you laugh out loud?
Huh?
Did
My
you
dad
laugh
was
out
laughing
loud?
at me. My dad was laughing at me.
Oh,
You want to go see
man.
it? This is your movie. You want to go see it?
I just feel like time just got added onto the clock in this movie somehow.
Oh man.
Were people booing at the end?
I mean, what
There
people
was
were
no
there for
response.
theater?
Remember, it was an afternoon showing, so it was half full, and some people laughed because you know what?
Because I can tell you this: when I saw Fan Four Stick in the theater, like halfway through the movie, 2 guys get into a fist fight, because one of them was on the phone and they started fighting, and they had to bring in like security to bring them out. And once the movie ended, hear me out, but once the movie ended, people started booing. When it's like directed by Josh, like people just started throwing their stuff and like.
Well,
was
booing. And of course, that was right after he put out his infamous tweet about it.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That's
cool.
the only time I've been in the theater
Everybody
where
in that
people
movie
actually
was good,
booed.
though.
It was a great experience. It really was.
The only time I heard it really like a real boo was the ending of The Devil Inside. When you had that like title card come off the end, I've never seen an audience turn on the ending or anything like then. But
The frustrating part is that's actually a good movie up until the ending. Like when they show like the stupid ending, like and for more information, check on this website. Like, what the hell? Like,
yeah,
what,
they
what
lost
were you
it. At that.
Like, what were you? It's so stupid.
I'm sorry, I just can't get over how like they gave this is your villain look that's supposed to be really menacing and frightening, and it just looks. I mean,
He looks like
he looks
like a jacked up version of Doc from Back to the Future.
Yeah, I was gonna say he looks like Wish.com.
Now he's doing like this quick draw gunslinger, like pulling back the coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same year that gave us the Alien Queen gave us this.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another good one from William. Pull this one up from numbers at the bottom. I know what your answer is going to be, but I just want you to pull it up.
Hey, that's a classic. I like that movie.
Stop my mom
I
will
didn't
shoot.
see Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Stop! My mom will shoot.
Stallone says
At that
that's his
point, I had
worst movie.
given up on Sylvester Stallone.
No, he says that's his worst movie.
Yeah. It's not
Can we
good,
do
but
a
it's
Halloween
kind of
watch
fun.
party?
Yeah, it was something more terrifying than Howard the Duck.
We should watch
stuff.
let's do a horror movie. Let's watch The Descent. No, not or maybe like one of John Carpenter's movies.
I'll do the thing.
About Cabin in the Woods.
No. I
Yeah,
didn't
that's a good one.
even turn and look at my dad while we were watching this because I knew he was gonna do it.
When they're shooting the energy beams. at each
Was
other.
your dad? I gotta ask. Like,
The best part.
I was gonna ask you this. Like, was your dad pissed off at this, like he was at
No.
Jaws 3D?
Nah, he was just wondering why I wanted to see it, and he's like, "Well, this looks stupid.
What-
We're wasting
and what-
money." And
Like,
like
how
I said,
much-
we're generational cheap asses, me and him. So we're like, we basically wasted money. Not whether it was like wasting money. So it was a waste of
Well,
money.
and how much what was the how much did tickets cost back then? Because what was
It was
like,
literally $1.
oh, so,
Nice.
okay. So
But
you're,
we bought
it's sticking that
popcorn.
much.
We bought popcorn. We bought sodas. We bought nachos. This is in LA too. So yeah, you had dollar matinees, and then you went, but they charged you an arm and a leg for everything else. And then I had to hear about the gas to get down there. This was a waste of gas. I'm like, yeah,
Well, it was a waste of gas.
it was.
But did you tell him it was a comic book movie though? That's why you wanted to go.
I had the comic book. I
That
showed
makes
them.
sense. See, that makes sense. That's justifiable.
Yeah, but if
Right.
you told
Gas
Rob,
is
but
That's
if you
so-
told
that
Tom,
must
you're
be so
trying to
devastating.
you
You
know,
saw
like
the
you were like-
trailer?
Yeah, but it's not like you were like, this is going to be the best. I just want to see this movie. You're like, no, it's a comic. I'm a comic book fan. It's pretty cool. It's a comic book movie. No matter what it would be.
But then 3 years later, when Batman
Right,
comes along, he's
especially
gonna think
for
it's
a
gonna be
kid,
something like this. If you're selling him a comic movies this way.
That's true. Well, but what was the last comic book movie before this? Like Superman?
Swamp
Man,
Thing,
Extra Piece or something.
Yeah.
Was it
Punisher,
great?
Swamp Thing, or
See,
Punisher
that's
came out
all-
after this.
Let's be
Nah,
honest.
Punisher
This was
came
the
out in
first
87.
bad one.
Guys,
What year
after
did Punisher
this
come out?
year,
84 or 87?
It was 80. It was
87 or
89.
87.
Okay, but Swamp Thing 1 came out in 1982, right?
And of course, now we got our
Like I
little
said.
crab.
Look at this
They
thing.
had
One
this-
praise that, like, hey, the effects actually look
Adrian
pretty good for
Barbeau's
stop
boobs.
motion.
These effects,
At that
dude.
point,
These
it was
effects are great.
Like, these are actually
They
pretty
made
good
sure
effects.
that, they made sure that Adrian Barbeau had a topless scene in there because at that point in her career, they were like legendary, and that was how they got people to go see the movie.
Oh man, like this looks good. This is good.
With all kinds of hazardous chemicals in it, for some reason, Adrian Barbeau says, "Let's get naked and go into the swamp with alligators." And I think I need a bath. I think I need a bath right now. Let me go bathe in whatever this shit is. They only did that because
But it's not, and that little part's not a swamp. It's like clear water with
high or
fog.
whatever.
You know?
Oh yeah, it's like a
like
pond.
Bo Derek
Yeah.
Tarzan.
Yeah.
Nobody was going to see Tarzan in 1980 for Miles O'Keefe. They were going to see Bo Derek. She'd been in 10, and she wore clothes for 5 minutes in that movie.
Yeah,
That's the 80s.
Oh,
and the stop motion.
Now,
has,
you know what? If we tried to do this shit now, everybody would get canceled. How come all the chicks are naked in these movies? How come they all die in the shower? How come they wouldn't be able to do it now?
No.
You're not going
everybody would
to
get canceled.
be in this movie today. That's for damn sure.
no
Some great
bestiality today.
The Exorcist 3 would actually be the one I would do out of the two. I like The Exorcist, but it doesn't scare me. Exorcist 3 is actually a scary movie.
I still haven't seen those movies. I need to watch 1 and 2 and 3.
Skip 2. No, skip 2. Skip 2.
Yeah, I've not heard the best stuff about 2, but I'm gonna watch it in pure curiosity.
That's how they were marketing it. And all the advertising for her was her wearing a really thin T-shirt. Yeah, because that was her appeal. I mean, I'm not saying she's a horrible actress or anything, but she was quite gifted in other ways. And when it came to Hollywood, you know.
This
You
is
keep
too
besmirching Catwoman's name just because you don't appreciate it. She's Catwoman, man. You keep talking, William. That's Catwoman.
My Catwoman is Anne
Assets-
Hathaway.
That's Catwoman.
The assets that were
My
available to Adrian
Catwoman is
Barbeau
Anne
in her
Hathaway.
her career are not available
Okay.
there. Sorry. Ruth Moore, what's going on in this movie now? Yeah, the entire movie, Ruth, is laugh out loud from the credits. You should not be stopping laughing out loud when it comes to this movie.
It's insanity.
Is it over yet? Oh my god!
There's like 10 minutes
No,
left.
it's still
I think.
going
I told you they added time to this movie somehow.
Yeah. It's 10 minutes left in Duck
Hey,
Year.
Vince, did you
This
sneak in
is
some
Someone
kind
time
of
traveled.
All right,
This
so
There's
that's
a
why-
little Nexus of All Worlds action distorted the timeline. You know what I mean?
Or,
You guys
or
are
one of
looking
us
at,
time
$10 million
traveled.
of budget right there, by the way. That
Oh, I
must be
didn't
like
pause
the
it.
big
It's-
thing.
It just keeps dragging.
We brought money back in time to make the budget higher, so they
There
could
were
make
some
it
Spider Verse
longer.
shenanigans going on. You know.
This is
It was a
Ghostbusters.
millisecond for you guys, but
William, there's another good one from Numbers here. You pull this up. It's,
Numbers is just terrorizing me. What's going on? here?
Numbers is like,
So, William, would you categorize Howard the Duck as a comic book movie or a disaster movie? Both.
that's a joke.
Yeah,
That's a good
comic book
pun.
movie, the comic book movie that was a disaster. Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect pun there.
Would you say this is worse than Fantastic and
Yes.
She-Hulk?
yes.
I don't think She-Hulk was that bad.
No, She-Hulk's horrible. I would watch this over
I
She-Hulk.
didn't like She-Hulk that much, but
Oh,
it's,
no,
it's,
you would need to be drug tested.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
The She-Hulk's better than this.
Look,
Come on.
She-Hulk, like I was
No,
saying before,
She-Hulk's
She-Hulk gets
worse.
dragged down by the fact that Hulk's been sucking since Avengers 2, and he drags it down trying to explain why he sucks so much since
Think
Avengers
so.
2
Well,
halfway
they made Hulk
half of her
into
show.
Ghostbusters, an all-time classic, which much of this tech was stolen from, was made for $6 million less at $30 million.
Well,
Wow.
Fan Four
And
Stick.
whereas Howard the
It's
Duck
what.
made $1 million
Well, I was
in
gonna say,
profit.
well, Fan Four Stick.
Ghostbusters
Like the
made $300
frustrating
million.
part about that is that like the beginning's actually really good. Like it's actually a really solid beginning until when they get the powers. That's when it becomes bad.
Well, that's when you can really notice the reshoots.
So Chappie,
Yeah.
would you say that Fantastic Four, the reboot, is an improvement on Fantastic Four 1 and 2, the
No,
previous series?
first one's a classic. First one's
You
a
think
classic.
so?
No, Fantastic
Are you
No,
sure you're
I
not
like the first
overrating
Four is
it?
a good movie.
Yeah, I would give the first one an 8 out of 10.
You give the first I like the guy that plays Doctor Doom,
Yeah, he's
and I like
good.
Johnny Storm.
Yeah, no, like the first one's a legit a good movie. Now, second one's okay. You can kind of take it or leave it, but I always stick with the first one. I think the first
Galactus
one's
is a
legit good
cloud,
movie.
and Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
They played Doctor Doom. They made him have electric
Well,
powers.
because they didn't
They
have
always
the-
You
play
gotta
Doctor Doom.
remember, like, I can kind of understand why they made Galactus to a crowd though, because maybe they just didn't have the budget to like make him
William,
like a
we're
giant human being. You got to understand
Okay,
that.
I'm sorry. If you
We're
can't afford to articulate your main villain,
Then don't make it.
make the
Exactly.
movie.
Yeah, I know.
Then don't make
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
It's a
William,
big
I
budget
don't think
movie. You got no
another villain.
excuses.
I got a good news.
Yeah.
They had
We're
X Men
finally-
money,
We're finally down to single digits in this movie's runtime.
Yeah.
or so you believe, Brad. Snap of the finger, it's back to 15. You'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna cut this off. I can't take too much more.
No, we gotta watch the credits where they sing "Howard the Duck." No, we gotta watch the whole thing, William.
There's really
Yeah.
a song?
We got to
Yeah,
entertain
put up
Fourth
one.
because he
Oh,
paid
no.
$100 to make sure this happened.
I'm
Yep.
gonna let the
Even
I'm gonna let
here.
the credits play, but
You can
guys
you can buy 1,000 copies of Howard the Duck for $100.
I have the soundtrack for this on CD. I actually have the soundtrack on
Oh my
CD.
God. Here I am
Uh-oh.
ashamed that I own 2 copies of this movie, and here you own the soundtrack.
Who? I keep asking who would buy that, but I know who would. I know people on this screen that bought this movie. Why?
Yeah,
I
if I,
mean,
can find my,
there's even a steelbook of Howard the Duck.
if I can find my
Vince has the
What a waste of
collector's
steel.
holographic edition.
I thought steel was valuable.
Vince, go ahead and show them how you got it going on there.
No, I was gonna say somewhere I have a regular Blu-ray copy. Then I'm gonna send it to Sci-Fi Center.
This is on Blu-ray?
It's gonna
Yeah,
hit return
yeah.
to sender.
Yeah, Larry. Not only is it on Bluray, 4K.
4K.
Wow.
4K? What did
Oh,
you
there
get
you go.
4K
Here's the
for
song.
on
Here's the song, Howard the Duck.
We can't even get a Blu-ray of True Lies. How does this piece of shit have a 4K?
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Because they're waiting. They're thinking maybe 10 more years. All those Arnold Blu-ray releases are going to be
Yeah,
I
extremely
mean, they're all
valuable.
fan-made
The digital
Blu-rays that
copies
you
for
can get, so
watching.
at least
here.
there's that.
Yeah. So Ruth, what do you think of the movie? So for the watch party, were you enjoying the movie?
There's no way you can be enjoying this movie. I don't care what the answer is.
She's
There's no
totally
way.
engaged with what was going on in this movie. I'm telling you.
Oh, with us,
Ruth was
maybe,
on
yeah.
it. Ruth was on it. David's loving the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, the end is the best part when it's over. Yeah.
Yeah, he's clapping. He's ready.
This is so bad.
Awful.
I can't even believe it.
Let's just go ahead and,
The band is good.
oh, it's so nasty.
Oh no! Wait, he could play guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do anything
You know,
else.
I did
Well,
realize
he
that
played
I
guitar
typically
in the
end
beginning.
as a
I
ghost.
think isn't there like a guitar in its
Yeah, he's a
background?
musician, remember?
Oh,
Yeah,
in the
he writes songs.
beginning. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
it's in the background.
That's established. Okay.
Look, they almost just kissed right there.
Well, yeah. I mean,
They
they're
almost
together.
fucked. They almost beat each other.
Yeah,
They're a
the
couple.
kissing is part of the act, Brad. That's for the road. That little almost peck is
They
for the
came
road.
a lot
They do that.
closer to bestiality
6 nights
than
a
that
week.
little kiss. Oh my god! Here's a list of all the people whose careers is over right here. Go ahead and read that off.
ILM did not get career ending. ILM went on to do huge things, William.
Yeah,
because they
I
didn't have
should
to
have
put
put an
their
end
names
scene
and
with
faces on the
that.
decision making. They were just employees. Go find me Philip Norwood.
That's finally
Duck design.
started.
Duck design. Yeah, here you go. What was
It
that?
was
Duck
like
coach?
hallelujah.
He was a
the
duck
credits
coach for
finally
this
began.
movie? What do you need a duck poacher in this movie for?
It might be some pseudonyms going on here. I'll give you that. I'll give you
He
that.
didn't even do anything that a duck would do. What did the duck flies? He couldn't fly. Come on.
Well, he did. He flew in the helicopter thing, the bike glider thing. Remember the hunters?
Yeah, no,
No, you were gone selling stuff to the customers. We had to watch that shit.
He saw part of it. It was like 40 minutes long, that segment.
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, it started with him and it ended after.
There's
Yeah,
the
he was telling
credits.
it.
The credits
Some
are
of
now. It's now showing.
That was the
credits.
whole second act of the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, William wasn't away for that long. Sylvester LeVay, who's that? Additional music.
All right. There's no post credit scenes. Turn.
No.
This is kind of a, there's like a mid.
Production did not.
Whoa,
That was like a
Duck
mid-credit
Communications.
That was kind of like a mid-credit scene, actually.
Yes, yeah. There's no more movie playing now. William is just breathing such a sigh of relief.
See, now they're about to kiss right here.
Whoa, boom operator Steve
we now
Powell.
live in an era. We now live in an era where we sit and wait for post credit scenes. This is the kind of movie you just got up and just left and just tried to move on with your life. And,
He was in a post-credit scene.
Yeah, he's in the best
Ironically.
one, Guardians
Yeah.
of the Galaxy,
Yeah.
but the true version.
Did you
Oh,
guys
that
see
was
the
bad.
post-credit scene that I added to this?
William,
I
do you have
see
any relatives who were boom operators?
no.
All right, so what now? The
Steve
credits are
Powell.
all-
Was the boom operator?
There's a lot of pals out there that on both sides of the fortunate spectrum that I don't share blood with. But hey,
They already played the cast list. I don't think they have yet.
Yeah.
These are all people who are probably no longer working.
Yeah.
all right, well, hell, that was fun. Ugh.
So
it came
William,
out like 37 years ago. They're probably all retired anyway, right?
Yeah.
Regardless.
So William, what are
Retired
your
dead
final
or-
words on How the Duck?
Or what my first words on Howard the Duck. It's a fucking awful movie.
Fuck this shit.
Well, I hope you got
Arguably
your
one
money's
of the
worth.
worst movies ever made.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if I would go that
Yeah,
far.
this is my first time, my first experience with Howard the Duck in a really long time, and it's like, yeah, it's one of those ones where it's almost like the Room of comic book movies, in that every time you see it, it's like it's almost like seeing it for the first time, in as much as you really it hits you so hard, like, man, it's really amazing just how bad
Stuff
this
that
is.
I spent almost 4 decades trying to forget. That I've been brought to the surface now, and I got to go watch something awful so that I can cleanse my brain.
And it's now immortalized forever as a
Well,
YouTube stream.
it's almost 7:00, guys. I'm gonna be heading out to go see The Creator. So
Enjoy.
vastly
That
better
sounds
movie
like
than
fun.
that.
Yeah.
That'll be a good
Yeah,
Have you
time.
seen
somehow I'm
The
gonna.
Creator yet?
My gut feeling is that the creator is going to be just a tad bit better than what you've been subjected to here today. So.
Just a little bit, huh?
Just a guess
Yeah.
I have. Just a guess.
I'm
I
hoping
have.
to see it.
Now, what
Hey,
if you're
if-
wrong?
hey,
What
Brad, I
if what
wanna
if
ask
the
you this,
creator
like,
goes
is it-
down as worse than Howard the Duck in your book? In your own
What'd you
personal
say?
opinion.
Then I know people are lying.
Yeah,
Whoa.
smack across the face. That's their assessment.
There were 8 people that played Howard the Duck in this.
yeah,
That's crazy.
they had different costumes designers and different
Yeah,
actors.
Chip Scene is the voice of Howard.
Yeah,
he-
Chip
he-
Scene.
He made it out okay.
So,
You know,
Yeah,
William, we have what, the worst and the best thing to ever
Yes.
happen to DC coming up later, and the Crisis of Infinite Earths, right?
yeah.
That's like a huge turning point kind of
Alright,
story,
so
right?
as far as for good movies go, what do you guys want to watch next?
Yeah,
Good?
it's up to you guys, yeah.
Blue Beetle. Because William hasn't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
either.
That was the only movie I
It
was
was.
today, so
Worth of, your while.
Does anybody?
Could do the Flash, and like William could probably like break down like all the possibilities for like multiverse
Yeah.
storytelling.
Yeah,
The-
or you can,
future.
or you
I
can
don't
just
know if
go
I
on
can watch-
your I hate reboot rants during the Flash, and that could get you like a good coinciding thing to go with it. That'd be a nice little commentary.
You know what? When people say that, it's like I will tell you why reboots are bad, and I will say it. So then a lot of attention will
Well,
come to
some
that.
We
reboots
know.
are actually pretty good. There's actually been some good reboots out there. Not all of them are stinkers.
Most of them fail, though.
Yeah, most of them do, but there's some good ones out there.
And William would say it's like, Howard the Duck. It's like this is the kind of thing that is so dead on arrival. He would say,
Yeah,
there's
this
no
could be a
reboot,
reboot.
but
Like I
it's a
said,
reboot.
they could so reboot this in like a Marvel one shot. Like why?
But
have
no,
it Marvel?
I'm talking about like this would be like the only if there was like a thriving MCU at the time, this is like the only
I mean,
recourse
let's
you
be-
have would be to reboot
Yeah.
the character, if not the entire franchise.
This
I mean,
wouldn't
let's
even
be
a reboot.
honest. The
This would be a
MCU
reimagining.
sucks right now, but like doing a Howard the Duck movie would get me very interested.
Well, you can do it now because of the context of the character is there. You would bring him
Uh-oh.
in. and
Forrest
say-
here. He got here just in time. He got here
Yeah.
just in time. Right on time.
Yeah,
Oh, my movie just finished.
Yeah, when we discussed Crisis,
executive produced.
Crisis
producer.
began the whole reboot thing, and it's just lazy. It's just lazy, unimaginative storytelling. It's like I can't deal with a complex story that I may not have been there for the beginning of, so now I got to reboot it to where my brain can wrap around it. But
But,
unfortunately,
Well, it's good because
Okay.
that'll dovetail with a lot of stuff from this past week that
Hmm.
that we can to break down all that.
I got this for about $5 on Amazon when I got the Blu-ray for this.
$4 too much. Actually, $5 too much.
$10 too much.
So when it comes to speaking of reboots, William, what do you think about the John Byrne 1986 Man of Steel reboot? The six
I've
issue?
gone on record as not liking it,
Okay.
and I love John Byrne. I'm
Mhm.
a John Byrne fan through and through.
You like John Byrne's She-Hulk run back around that time?
He's the only reason why that run worked.
Yeah, I agree.
His run on X-Men is goes without saying, but his run on Superman, I did not like what he did. I did not like the decisions that he made that really messed up a lot of what DC. He literally ruined Legion of Superheroes with that decision that they made. So
Because they were in that storyline leading up to Darkseid in the future or whatever, right?
Yeah,
well, that because Superboy was the inspiration for Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
So once John Byrne made the decision that there was no Superboy, we had to redo that. They actually did a pretty good job with it, but they shouldn't have had to. Paul Levitz and the people who were writing Keith Giffen that were writing Legion of Superheroes basically rerouted things so that you had a Superboy, but he was the Superboy from the Pocket Universe. That's how the Pocket Universe came about.
Yeah. Well, then you also get the other dumb thing because since they don't want to have multiple universes during that 20-year time, you get the stupid hyper time thing in Crisis in Time. So whenever they want to explain what happened in the past or the future, they just make new stuff up,
Which was defeating the purpose of the
They should have just kept the multiverse or at least 5 Earths or whatever.
Fourth, I'm kind of surprised you weren't actually on the panel tonight because I mean you really
He timed it just perfectly, dude.
you made
you gotta
this
put it-
happen.
Yeah, you told me.
All right, guys, I gotta get going.
Yeah, me too.
Good one.
Very soon.
See you,
I'll
Chappie.
see you guys tonight
I will-
on the live stream
I will
again.
see you guys in 5 hours.
Yeah, but
All right.
it's
Oh, yeah.
definitely a break that's going to be needed after this. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, any final
watch-
words
watch-
on Howard the Duck?
Go watch some real.
not-
Go watch some real porn
I'll
instead
just
of
say
this
this:
implied
it's
porn.
not awful, but not good.
Don't watch Howard the Duck again.
Oh,
I mean, I still have the Blu-ray. I'm gonna put in my comic book movie collection, so I'll still have the Blu-ray.
All right,
Okay,
Chappie.
Yeah, whatever. I will see you, gentlemen and ladies, tonight.
All right, see you
All
guys.
right.
Howard the Duck
Take
sucks,
care.
everybody.
Peace,
Hey,
everyone.
Brad, I want to ask you this.
Okay.
Post
Riff.
credit.
Don't cut me off of my riff.
Wait, Brad, is it a cyberpunk movie? Does it count as like a cyberpunk movie? The creator?
You're talking.
Yeah, the creator.
That's an interesting question. I could say you could go either way on that. Is whether you would qualify
I
as
say
a cyberpunk.
dystopian.
Yeah,
maybe.
I actually think it's
kind of
more.
reminds me of like cyberpunk and like science fiction.
Yeah,
It reminds me.
it probably fits a little bit more into like the post-apocalyptic or dystopian kind of
Mad
classification.
Maxian type thing.
Daniel,
All right, guys,
Chappie, I'll tell you, it reminded me of Real One Comics a lot.
All right. Okay.
Bye.
Okay, guys.